I literally only watch Tower of God because my gay ass will choke on Kevin Bacon's goddamn dick if I have to get more music out of him. I was more than happy to peacefully let Tower quietly slip by. Having never touched a webcomic, I was afraid I wouldn't appreciate its adaptation as much as its fans. Tower appears to have amassed a huge following on Webtoons over its 10 fucking year run. Holy shit. It's long as fuck, and because of its sheer length and following, I never thought to give it a read. Then I'm watching Giggok Spring video I'm ready to check out because I don't want to hear about Tower. I decide to stay for some reason. He drops this line.
To mention Kevin Penkin is also doing the soundtrack.
Oh my god!
And that shit right there made me run for episode 1. Though I solely watched the first episode for Kevin's new OST, I still somewhat gave the anime some attention. When the first episode I finished, I had two thoughts. Hey, yeah, that was pretty alright, not good or bad. This guy is a simp, but I guess I'll watch episode 2. And holy shit, this may just be it. I'll give a warning. This video isn't about Tower of God, and if that's all you're here for, then please save yourself from me, for I am literal trash. Around 2015, I was becoming more into manga and getting into webcomics. I didn't know what Webtoons was. I thought it was a pirating site with a ton of free comics to read. My friend Portia gushed about this little known comic called Nobilis and how I desperately needed to read it. I agreed, but only read the first few chapters and never looked back. Portia clearly has more patience than me. She's a goddamn Berserk fan, for Christ's sake, and the beginning of Nobilis is slow. I'll probably never read Nobilis again because of its pacing at the start of the comic, and One Piece has sucked all the capacity left in my soul. But that didn't deter me from watching the Nobilis OVA in 2016, going in with the thought, holy shit, this may just be it. But unfortunately, the OVA was pretty awful. In case you couldn't tell, Nobilis is a pretty long-ass comic, and squeezing the first couple chapters in a 30-minute OVA spelled disaster. It may have been fun for the fans, but unless you read what the OVA covered like I did, you would have been painfully lost and bored, and I'm pretty sure not even the fans remember this damn OVA. Nobilis wasn't it, and I continue to wait. Voltron was the next show that made me believe this may have been it. With the backing of DreamWorks and Netflix, it seemed like the moment I was waiting for, not to mention the studio behind it, Studio Mir, already had fanfare in the West for their work on Korra. Unfortunately, Voltron came and went with a contained fandom. It didn't have the reach I'm hoping Tower of God will have. So I'm sorry, Voltron, I love you, but you weren't it. But the third time is said to be the charm, right? I'm not asking for Tower of God to entertain me or hold my attention outside its first 3 episodes. I'm asking for it to be that giant push I've been waiting for to burst open the floodgates for Korean animation and webcomic adaptations. There's a reason why I refer to webcomics, manga, manhwa, and comics as simply that, comics. No matter where they come from or who they're made by, as long as it's a visual art used to tell a story with panels and text, it's a comic. I don't give a shit how many times I may be yelled at for calling Solo Leveling a comic or Thunderbolt Fantasy and Rilakkuma and Karo an anime. This is a comic. This is an anime, and you're a dick! I love and need diversity of media. I can't survive off of anime and comics alone. I need books and movies and music. I can't only consume slice of life. I need psychological horrors, dramas, and whatever the fuck drawing while masturbating is. Anime is such a wide and diverse medium. When I think about it, I would say 90% of the animation I'm watching is Japanese animation. Anime has a fascinating, long, and extensive history containing household classics and forgotten treasures. The narratives and emotions expressed in this format ranges from whimsical to batshit to fucking soul-destroying in this goddamn show about goddamn high schoolers. But why can't we treat animation that way? Why does anime have to be contained to a certain format? Why continue having debates as to if Ruby and Avatar are animes because they don't hail from Japan? Why can't Rilakkuma and Thunderbolt be anime when Beastars is? The point is, separation is stupid, and I need Tower of God to be that big push to finally end that. For too long, Korea has been the butt of animation joke. When we think Korean animation, we probably think the sweatshop joke from The Simpsons. Even with my dark sense of humor, I can never laugh at this gag. Animators globally are treated poorly, and these artists deserve far more respect. I'm sick of rumors for possible unions in Japan and hundreds losing their jobs due to heartless rich fucks closing their studios. The animation industry and unions have a long way to go, and I want Korea to be the start of that. When the nerd community thinks of Korean art, we probably think about their comics. Manhwa has long been in the spotlight. It has its own name, for Christ's sake. You can probably ask an avid comic reader what their favorite manhwa is, and they'll give it to you in a heartbeat. However, manhwa fans have long since asked the questions and dreamed of their favorite comics receiving an adaptation. Those dreams seemed far off because Korea hasn't had much of a grasp in the animation industry outside of outsourced in-between frames, but that's clearly starting to change. I believe that's thanks to the experiment of Novelist and success of shows like Voltron that Korea can finally break free of its shell. There are passionate animators in this world who want to give passionate fans what they want. Say what you want about Crunchyroll, I certainly have in the past, but they have the money and the platform. Combine that with the power of Webtoons, an international platform with millions of readers based in Korea, this may just be the team up I've been waiting for. Tower of God is a good start because thanks to this anime, we can say one day. It's that term that gives me hope. That one day I've been waiting for finally feels like it's becoming more of a reality. Like how, unfortunately, the studio and language spoken is Japanese, but we're able to say one day that will be Korea. I think the best part about Tower, the part that gives me a bit more hope, is how it doesn't feel like a safe bet. It doesn't make me think, why couldn't they animate XYZ instead? It makes me consider the possibilities that went into this show. Webtoons could have animated The Gamer or God of High School, two other long-running shonen comics on their platform, but they went with this one and gave it this funky indie animation style that I really like. Tower isn't cheap or lazy, it isn't a rushed experiment like Novelist was, nor does it crush my fucking soul like the Let's Play shorts that felt more like an ad than an adaptation. Tower is its own thing, and that's bloody fucking cool. Yet the best part about this show is that it's a double whammy. If all goes well, this show probably won't only be the beginning of more Korean anime, but webcomic adaptations in general. This is the show that will build the budget for a solo leveling anime, will probably train Netflix's eye towards Korea and give anime adaptations of Bastard and Sweet Home. What if Can't See, Can't Hear But Love was given a chance to be just as beautiful as A Silent Voice? What if China stops being such fucking dicks and actually make good fucking anime for once based on good stories that people are actually hyped as fuck about? Oh fucking wait! Fuck the Chinese government! Give me my season 2, you fucking pricks! Imagine a world where Let's Play and Boyfriend of the Dead get proper adaptations, where cute fun stories like Cat Loaf Adventures and Cat's Cafe are released on YouTube as modern Saturday morning cartoons. I want a world where Lore Olympus gets a fairly budgeted anime that's treated with the respect it deserves. Shit, imagine a world where Lumine gets its adaptation and is probably originally spoken and finished after its original creator. Japan has been on top of webcomics far longer than the rest of the world have. There are comic stores with its own adaptations, and some of the most successful anime out there were based on webcomics. But they can't be the only players. It's time to stop dreaming about our next favorite anime and make it a reality. I won't usually do something like this, but I've been dreaming about it for years. If you wanted to, then you have to support Tower of God and give it your money. Tell Crunchyroll and Webtoons you want more of this. Get a Crunchyroll or Verve account for a month and watch the show. I'm sorry, but pirating the anime is only going to slow progress. Animation takes millions of dollars and a lot of time. Tweet at Crunchyroll and Webtoons that you want more Tower of God and other adaptations. Show your support for Korean and Chinese animation, especially China. I fucking hate that government too, but damn it, where the fuck is My King's Avatar Season 2? We'll also have to flood Netflix with requests to pick up Tower of God and put it on their platform. We need to help Tower of God make that push. Share this video in your voice. We can do this. We can help. Support Tower of God. Let's build a better animation landscape.